Hey, Colin Hiles here with today's training video, which is entitled 1 Hour, 3 Questions, Life Change. And, we're coming into that time of year now where things begin to slow down and we begin to pull the family together and we begin to celebrate, the year that's passed and get excited about the year that's coming. And for me, this has been a phenomenal year this year, and I want to give back by giving you a guide that's below this video that you can take away and fill out. And this video is really about how to use that guide that's below the video. And my way of saying thank you. Thank you for following me this year, for the feedback that you've given me this year, for the inspiration that I've gained from the emails you've sent me where you've applied and used what I talk about, my message, which is mainly around mind, power, and attitude. So this is a process. I'm going to share a process with you that I do every year. My wife and I do every single year. It's one of those processes that I recommend all my one-to-one clients do as well. And it's a great way of really taking from this year to move into the next year. And now let me start by maybe sharing why is it important that we do this. Why is it important that you find at least 1 hour over the Christmas break to sit down with laptop and fingers or pen and paper, whatever is your preferred, and ask yourself 3 questions around what have been my wins this year, what have been my learns this year, and what are my aims for the next year. One of the reasons that I think it's important that we do this is that we're all busy. And often we wear a badge of honor around our busyness. It's seen as a good thing to be busy. And some of us really enjoy being busy. But the question is, are we being busy and being effective? Or are we being busy and just being efficient? And there is a difference between being effective and efficient. We can efficiently be doing the wrong things and be busy. So it's important to connect back with priorities and values and aims and think, okay, so how am I doing against those? And we can fool ourselves that we're actually doing well and making progress when we're really not making progress against what's really important. And secondly, cars and bikes have brakes and accelerators. And I think we're all good with the accelerator, foot flat down on the accelerator. We're not so good necessarily by putting our foot on the brake and using the brake. And we're coming up to a natural brake, which is between 1 year and another year. And to be able to use that brake well is a skill. Also in sport, so we take soccer or football, there's a half time. There's a chance to come off the pitch playing the game and reflect on how that first half has gone so that we can play the second half better. And we're moving from 1 year to another year here, so a chance to really do that. I think what else? Our habits. We all are guilty of picking up habits that are not supportive, bad habits, me included. And these habits drive the way we think, they drive our attitude, they drive our perception, they drive our behavior. So it's important that we look at our habits. And one of the habits that I think we're losing, sadly, in today's world is the habit of pause, the habit of reflection, the habit of stopping. When you think about just moving from 1 year into the next year, people are more excited about the next year, right? It's exciting to think about a beginning, a new year, a fresh start. We don't get so excited about the pause and the reflection. And yet it's so important that we're able to do that. And I think in today's world, we're not taught to really listen to what the body is telling us. Because there's a lot of wisdom there. To listen to what the day has just taught us. To listen to what the week or the month or the year has taught us. We're not taught to do it, and I don't think that we do it that well as a consequence of that. And we sort of we'd rather choose amnesia over the pause. And so we sort of blindly go from one experience to another experience and not really capture the learn. So we abort the possibility for growth, the possibility to change, the possibility to take our life in a slightly different direction as a result. Now, this process is designed to take care of everything that I've just been talking about, because the first two questions allow us to reflect on the past, and then the next question allows us to go into the future. And as I said, this is a process that my wife and I do. I've got my journal here, and we did it on December the 22nd last year. So this process is in this book, and I'm going to share some of what we gleaned from the last year as a result of doing this exercise. So let's go into this in a little bit more detail. So the first thing you do, step one, is to think about what have been your wins this year. Where are your celebrations? Where are your achievements? Where are your proudest moments from this year? And the first thing I recommend is you just work from memory. You just sit down and you think about the year, you think about January, February, March, and you just pull out some of those achievements just from memory. And if you're doing this with your partner, then do this together, and you'll sort of spark off of one another, okay? Now, once you've done that, then I recommend using aids like your diary, if you have one. Go through your diary, have a look at your diary, or go through your Facebook timeline and look for the things that you forgot, because often we'll post things on there and then we forget that we've posted, those little moments that were magic at the time, but they're forgotten. Go through your Facebook, go through your photo album, have a look in your photo album and see photos that you took, because they're a great way of reminding. Often the photos we take are around those great experiences and great moments. So do that and really capture, and in the guide below there's a space for you to do that, to really capture all of the wins, all of your proudest moments. Now this is important to do, because often we tend to remember the things that are not so good. They tend to stick. And then the Teflon are the ones that are good experiences. They tend to just, non-slip, gone, forgotten about them. So this is a way of balancing. This is a way of saying, rather than just focusing on the negative, let's focus on the positive first. Let's get a sense of what we did last year that we can be proud of. And you might be amazed when you do this exercise how much comes out of that. Secondly, then, when you've done that, now we move to, okay, so what are the lessons that can be learned from this year? Where are your disappointments? Where are your incompletes? Where are the things that you didn't achieve that you set out to achieve? What are those things? So get clear on that. And once again, go from memory and then use the tools that I just mentioned. See if there's anything that comes out of that. Sometimes on our timeline, Facebook timeline, we'll put things that didn't go so well and how we were feeling at the time. So pull those out. Now, what's important with this, when we pull out our disappointments and our incompletes, is that we look to learn from them. They're there to teach us. They're there to guide us. You can almost say that we had to have those experiences in order to grow. And as I say, sometimes the best way to start is to stop and then get a sense of, right, what am I meant to be learning from this? So if you're able just to, metaphorically look down on these and think, what was the lesson? What was I meant to be learning? What's the habits that I've got that I need to break? Or going through that experience, how did I grow as a result of it? What attribute or quality did it cause me to tap, like courage or compassion? Or what were some of the aspects of myself that came out that were a bit ugly and weren't quite as nice as I would have liked? Maybe I got a bit angry or a bit vengeful or a bit resentful or something like that. And in the next year, I really want to do something about that. So pull out your learns, get sense on your learns. And then the last step then is to go forward into the next year and think about, what are your aims? What are your goals? What are your aspirations? What are your dreams? What are your big goals? What are your small goals? And write those down and get clear on what those are. And so, we have in here, if I just go forward, it's quite interesting to read. Obviously, I've looked at this over the years. It's no good just writing them down and forgetting them. We want to develop a plan around them and then start working on them. But my online business has really taken off this year. I wrote down here what my revenue target is. Well, I beat my revenue target. I wrote down, I wanted to create my Mind Power Academy. I now have my Mind Power Academy. I've got Academy members. You might even be one. I've got a Mind Power Toolkit now. I'm just creating the next program that I'll be launching in January. So when I look down here, I didn't have any of that when I wrote this down. It is now a reality. I now have it. And that's really exciting. Some of the other goals that we had for ourselves, we've ticked them off. We've gone through and gone, wow, it's amazing how many things that we've done this year. And of course, there's also some learns as well. So a little bit of time I got off track. I went down a path that wasn't really the path that I wanted to be going down when it was in terms of online. And it was a good learn from that. But I learned from that. And now I've got back on track again. So hopefully you see the benefit of doing this process, of spending the time and doing this process. This is a brilliant time of year to do this coming up to Christmas. I'm sure that you can carve out an hour or more to sit down and run through your wins, your learns, and your aims. And so download the guide. If you're on my blog, it's on my blog. Download the guide. Go and use that guide. Give me some feedback. Please let me know what you think. As you know, a 10 being really good, 1 being not very good. So if you really enjoyed it, let me know. Share as well. Let your friends and family know about that guide. Maybe they could use that guide. This is a perfect time to them. So from me, thank you very much for everything that you have done for me this year. I look forward to continuing our journey together in 2014. Thank you.